Welcome to the Slade Ham experiment. If you're old here, you know what's going on. If you're new here, let me catch you up real quick. I'm Slade Ham. I do stand-up comedy. I'm getting ready to tape a brand new comedy special. I have a very squeaky chair, and I'm working my way through my book Until All the Dragons Are Dead, collection of stories. So I'm doing a reading each episode right now. Gets me back in front of the camera, lets me let you know that I'm still alive and kicking. I'm so ready, November 15th, to tape this special. I've got 2 weeks in Canada. If you're in Canada, specifically Ottawa and Toronto, this week and next will be the weeks to catch me. Wrapping up, a lot of working on that material, getting ready to tape, getting ready to be done with this chunk of creative stuff. So, tickets on sale, all that information, I'll tell you about it after we do this. Chapter 4, from Until All the Dragons Are Dead. They will send its head to Little Rock. I arrive in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the same way I've arrived in so many other small towns over the last decade. There's a rhythm to it. I pull in, I check into my hotel, I lower my expectations, and I tell jokes. It's really a short checklist. As I walk into the club for this weekend's shows, however, a new bullet point forces itself into the mix. Don't get rabies. I enter to find the staff fully engrossed in the hunt. A cat, a gorgeous white cat, has crashed through the outer perimeter. The way they make it sound, you would think a terrorist operative is loose in the building. A pale flash shoots from under the table, followed by a blur of mullet and overalls. "Some bitch," says the mullet. "He's fast." The rest of the team moves into place. The girl behind the bar tries to scare it into the back room, while a 300-pound man with disturbingly saggy pants puts on his plumbing gloves and grabs the tablecloth. I stand at the far end of the bar laughing. Suddenly, the big man lunges at something invisible. From under the bar, a hissing, snowy explosion shoots upward, landing on a rack of glasses and destroying half of them. The cat's screech melds with the sound of shattering glass as the mullet leaps over the bar. Apparently cornered, the feline sits crouched on top of the Jägermeister machine, inches away from the liquor itself. With its hair bristling in defiance, it dares either of the men to try to grab it. The big man already has a plan. "I think I can get it," he starts to say. The cat hasn't had nearly as much to drink as the man has, however. They move at the same time, and the lumbering man knocks over the Jaeger machine, and the cat knocks over every other single bottle of alcohol on the top 2 shelves. And a beautiful cascade of falling glass and colorful liquid. It sprints towards freedom. I'm really pulling for the cat. I am. I don't consider myself a cat person by any means, but I did own 2 that I adored. They thought they were dogs, and they were amazing pets. Athens was a huge animal by feline standards, huge and lazy, with a brilliant personality lurking beneath his layers of lethargy. Isabella was the smaller one, a gorgeous white ball made of metabolism and cocaine. Cats were ideal pets for me because they could be left to take care of themselves for a few days at a time while I worked the road. In the comfort of my apartment, they were perfect. When I attempted to move them to Los Angeles with me, they were not. 2,000 miles from the east side of Texas to Los Angeles is not a difficult distance to cover when you travel as much as I do. But doing it with 2 cats? It's easier to convert to Hinduism, kill yourself, and hope you get reincarnated as someone that already lives on the West Coast. There's no guide for how to transport cats. Dogs are simple. You put them in the car and pull over occasionally so they can go to the bathroom. Fish, you can stick in a baggie. If I had a frog, I could freeze it and defrost it when I got where I was going. If I had a dragon, it could fly over my car and eat cattle along the way. There is, however, no simple way to get cats from one place to another. So I got tranquilizers. Veterinarians will sell you animal sedatives if you ask nicely enough. If you just go in and show them the feisty little creature you're attempting to transport, any vet's assistant will chuckle at your misfortune and then go grab a cylinder full of happy tablets from the back room. The problem is, they don't sell you a way to get them into the cat. Children are supposed to eat their vegetables, but just because you buy broccoli at the store doesn't necessarily mean the kid's going to eat it. I ended up left with a bottle full of pills that existed outside of the cats, and cats that were determined to keep them there. All I could do was stare back and forth between the cats and the pills, and staring doesn't get much done. Eventually, I realized that if I held Izzy tightly enough, If I grabbed her by the scruff of the neck and wedged my fingers into her mouth and stuck the pill down the back of her throat, then I could possibly pull this off. It was a simple plan, actually, if you happen to be an octopus. I was told, since she was the smaller of the two, I should start out by giving her half a pill, and I did. Somewhere in the process, though, it disappeared. I don't know if she swallowed it or spit it out and I lost it. Either way, I couldn't take that chance, so I cracked another one in half. I'm not 100% certain how many times we repeated the process, but she had somewhere between half a pill and 6. Either way, an hour later, she was knocked out like me, pretending to watch The Notebook. Sedatives will get you through about 10 hours with a cat, and that's about all I dared stretch it to on the first day. The second day, after force-feeding them a few more, I took off again. 12 delirious hours later, found the 3 of us in Phoenix. The 2 of them were pretty adamant that we were to go no further. Screams were flying out of cat carriers in the back seat, along with fur and chicken bones. I don't even know where the chicken bones came from. It was like I had captured a gremlin. It also does a good job of explaining why I am unafraid of the wild animal these hillbillies are chasing around the bar in Pine Bluff. As the big man topples forward and the shattered glass falls to the ground, the cat abruptly takes a turn my direction. It rockets off the shelf, plants its back paws on the mullet's head, and shoots through the air. It hits the ground in a full run, slides across the bar floor, bounces off the wall, and fires itself directly at me. If you've never had an animal throw itself at your face, it's hard to say exactly how you'll react. If you had asked me prior to this moment, I would have told you that I would react just like a ninja should. I'd simply snatch it out of the air with one hand, grab it firmly by the back of the neck, and then make a little coin purse out of its skin. Seriously, how hard could it be? If you ask me 6 seconds from now, though, I will not say such a silly thing. As the cat hurtles towards me with its claws out, I throw my hands in front of my face. It hits with its talons drawn and latches onto my forearm as I scream like a kidnapped girl on an empty playground. When I try to remove it, it strikes like a cobra. 2 gleaming incisors sink into my hand and wrist, driving down to the bone. Previously untouched nerves erupt, sending fiery tendrils of pain through my arm. As much as it hurts, the irony of being bitten by the only thing in the entire state with a full set of teeth is not lost on me. Why couldn't a cat be on meth like everyone else? The mayor of this city could bite me, and at worst, I'd be gummed to death. This cat, though, has a perfect set of fangs. I fling the cat off my arm and watch the blood shoot out of my hand. "Well, shit," says the mullet. "We thought you was going to be the one to get him." "Sorry," I managed to say. The cat is now hiding somewhere in a storage closet, trapped behind a closed door. The girl working the door calls the animal control, as someone should have done to begin with, instead of sanctioning this feline redneck rodeo. Left to wait for the extraction team, I turn my attention to my wounds. The bartender slides a feeble attempt at medical supplies across the bar to me. A Band-Aid and a shot of Jack Daniels. I pour half the shot on the holes in my hand and drink the other half. I've just finished covering the injury when the bartender hands me the phone. "Buffy wants to talk to you," she tells me. She looks scared. Buffy is the owner of the bar. I don't have a lot of experience with people named Buffy, but the name conjures up negative emotions for some reason. As a matter of fact, my only real recollection of that name being used at all in a non-vampire slaying way is when my great aunt used to call her dog. Her dog's name was Buffy, but Aunt Jewel had somewhere around 114 years under her belt, and she pronounced it Buffy. She didn't give it the long E sound it was supposed to have, and she would snap at the poor dog in a gravelly voice that she had earned by smoking 3 packs of Marlboro Reds every day for 98 years in a row. "Come here, Buffy," she would growl. And then this poor beat-up little black dog would come slinking into the room like some villainous sidekick. So when the bartender hands me the phone and tells me it's Buffy, I immediately don't like her. I pull up a bar stool and I take the phone. Hello? "Tell him you didn't get bit." My mind tries to process the words to no avail. "Huh? Them animal coppers. Tell him you didn't get bit or they gonna lop his head off and send it to Little Rock for testing." "Look, Buffy," I say, "it's a little hard to hide when I have blood running down my arm and—" "No! They gonna chop his head off forever. That cat didn't do nothing. You're gonna be fine. Folks get bit all the time around here. Ain't nobody dies of no rabies." They just gonna put its head in a box and send it off, I'm telling you. It's like Alice in Wonderland without the Alice or the Wonderland. It's just me and cats with teeth and crazy ladies yelling about chopped off heads. I'll be honest, I don't know the first thing about how you handle a feral cat once it's been contained. I'm sure that if there is legitimate concern that the animal has rabies or is infectious, that they will be forced to put it down. But what I don't think is that the state of Arkansas runs around arbitrarily beheading cats. Euthanasia doesn't include hacking something's head off with a sword or scissors or whatever else Buffy thinks they do when they capture it. I'm pro-animal under almost every circumstance. If I find out that the cat is going to be shoved into some homemade southern guillotine, I'll be the first to step up and say something. I'm not, however, going to stand idly by and let them not run a test on a cat that just chewed on my forearm like a dog bone. An animal control employee manages to slip a snare through the slightly cracked door as I sip my Jack and watch. They pull the cat from the back room, hissing and screaming and flashing its claws at anything that comes close, yet they still somehow manage to get it into a box. The door girl is fired by Buffy for calling animal control in the first place, and then they start the comedy show. From the back of the room, I watch as everyone acts like none of this has happened. The person has lost their job over this. Big man and mullet have long since left. It's just me and the darkness. Well, me and my fear that I might slowly be turning into some sort of zombie werecat. The show ends. I struggle through a night of sleep in a backwoods hotel room, and now I'm here, sitting in this hospital waiting room full of hard turquoise furniture. The combination of the fluorescent lighting's cold glare and the blue plastic-covered chairs heightens my anxiety. This room bleeds unease. If solace was their intent, they failed, whoever chose the decor. It is 3:30 in the afternoon on an overcast day in a not-so-affluent suburb. 64 degrees and cloudy, just like in that Pearl Jam video. Somewhere, Jeremy is at home drawing pictures, and I am waiting to get shots that will hopefully prevent me from transforming into a rabid Arkansan. A fat nurse walks out as I contemplate my existence. How did I get here? I may or may not have contracted rabies. I won't know for an hour or so. But what I do know is that somewhere in Arkansas there's a horrible woman named Buffy who believes all cats die of decapitation at the hands of the animal cops. I know that, and that I'm never going back to Pine Bluff. A fun story. I haven't read any of these in a very long time. That's part of why I'm working my way through it. It's revisiting a fun section of my life back when I was writing for a website called The Nervous Breakdown, and then a lot of these other stories that were never published before all made it into this collection. It's on my mind because I'm working on the new book. It's coming along quite well. It's backburnered until after I'm done with the special. I know me. I try to multitask. I wish I could be James Gunn and write 9 episodes of TV while I was directing a movie. Well, I'm not there. That's also why I don't make James Gunn money. So I'm working my way through this. I'm learning some new skills along the way. I'm excited about some of the projects I have coming up. We'll finish the special that will be out after the first year, all things going as planned. I will finish the book next year. That's going to be a prioritized project. I have a short film that I'm working on. If we get this grant, that's going to go forth. And if it doesn't, I got some super secret surprises that I'm going to be working on next year. Next year is a year of fun. This year was a year of work. But next year, all the fun will create great things for you to take in. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this year. I'm headed to Canada right now. If you're watching this, I'm there. Ottawa, the 24th, 14th through 15th through, I should have looked this up, 15th through the 19th in Ottawa, and then the 21st through the 26th in Toronto. I believe those dates are correct. AbsoluteComedy.ca if you want to get tickets to those shows. If you want a ticket to my special taping in Houston, it happens November 15th. Tickets are available for that as well. And did I bring one? You can't get these anymore. The deal is over unless you're you. In which case, you still have a last few seconds if you would like to get your Eyes on the Ground shirt. All of the money from this particular one will get your name in the credits in addition to the shirt. It all goes to funding the special. I'm about to spend an enormous amount of money on some things in my brain. Thanks for hanging out with me, as always, on the Slade Ham Experiment. Stick around. I'll do another one of these from Canada, and I'll show you some leaves. It's going to be a gorgeous trip. It's going to be a fun one. Do something kind for yourself today. Take care of other people. Do all that stuff too, but squeeze yourself in as well. I love you. I'll see you soon on another episode